My name is Diego, and I was there when Olivia's story changed forever. It was June 14th, a day that would mark the end of her marriage, right there in the park where they once shared laughter. Just a week before, she had thrown a birthday party for her daughter, a celebration filled with balloons and cake where the sounds of joy and laughter echoed around her. But even amidst the festivities, Olivia had felt a gnawing sense of unease, a shadow lurking beneath the surface of her carefully curated smiles. As she stood beneath the old oak tree that day, her heart racing, she smiled despite the tears pooling in her eyes. Olivia had always been the kind of person who found joy in the little things, but on that day, the scent of fresh grass mingled with the bittersweet aroma of heartbreak. The gentle sound of wind chimes danced in the breeze, a haunting melody that echoed the turmoil within her. She smiled, but trembled, caught between hope and despair. How can blood turn to poison like this? What nobody knew was that the truth behind Olivia's separation was far more twisted than anyone could imagine, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting to be revealed. The humiliation she felt that day at the party, when whispers about her marriage began to swirl, had been just a prelude to this moment, a moment that would forever alter her life. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over Olivia's backyard, where the faint scent of rain on pavement lingered from an earlier drizzle. She moved gracefully among the tables, arranging vibrant papel picado overhead, each piece fluttering gently in the breeze like colorful butterflies. Today was Mia's birthday party, and Olivia had poured her heart into the preparations, hoping to create a festive atmosphere that would honor their long-standing friendship. Homemade apple pie sat cooling on the table, the sweet aroma mingling with the earthy smell of wet grass. Preserve the original language of simpler times spent together. As she adjusted the decorations, Olivia's mind wandered to the many birthdays they had celebrated over the years. Each year, they'd made tamales, a tradition passed down from her grandmother, laughing as they filled the masa and wrapped it in corn husks. Those moments felt like a lifetime ago, back when Mia was just as invested in their friendship as Olivia was. Now, however, the dynamics seemed to have shifted. Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Later, over steaming cups of coffee at their favorite cafe, Olivia sat across from Mia, her heart heavy with unspoken concerns. The distant hum of traffic outside created a familiar backdrop, but today it felt intrusive, a reminder of the world outside their bubble. As they chatted, Olivia caught glimpses of Mia's growing arrogance, a dismissive wave of her hand here, a condescending laugh there. The way Mia brushed aside Olivia's recent struggles with work, as if they were trivial matters, made Olivia's heart sink. "Honestly, Olivia, you're overreacting. It's just a job," Mia said, her tone laced with irritation. "You need to lighten up and enjoy life more, just like me." Olivia forced a smile, but the words stung. "Oh my God, I can't believe you think that way. You know how much I care about my work. It's not just a job for me, it's a part of who I am." Mia rolled her eyes, seemingly unfazed. "You're too serious. You should take a page out of my book and just live a little. Trust me, it'll do you good." The conversation hung in the air, heavy with unspoken tension. Cultural reflection. In the backyard, it hurt like betrayal. What had happened to the supportive friend who used to encourage her? Was this the same Mia who once shared dreams and fears over late-night snacks? Olivia couldn't recognize the person sitting across from her. As the birthday party commenced later that evening, laughter and chatter filled the backyard. Mia's friends mingled, their joy infectious, but Olivia felt an unsettling disconnect. She watched as Mia accepted compliments with an air of superiority, soaking in the attention like a star on stage. The sound of distant traffic faded into the background, overshadowed by the laughter echoing around her. It was a bittersweet symphony, reminding Olivia of the vibrant friendship they once had, now overshadowed by something darker. At one point, while serving slices of apple pie, Olivia overheard Mia bragging to a group of friends about her recent promotion, her voice dripping with self-importance. "You guys, it's just so easy to climb the ladder when you're willing to put yourself out there. I mean, not everyone has what it takes." Olivia's heart raced, a mix of anger and hurt surging through her. It felt like a punch to the gut. Thought, the smell of apple pie brought painful memories. She remembered when they used to celebrate each other's successes, not use them as a backdrop for boasting. The betrayal stung more than she anticipated. "Olivia, come here, we're taking a group photo." Rachel, Olivia's ex-spouse, called out with an overly cheerful tone, her charm masking the underlying tension that Olivia felt. As she joined the group, Rachel's eyes sparkled with mischief, a reminder of the deceit that had marred their relationship. Kyle stood beside Rachel, smirking in a way that made Olivia's blood boil. He had always been jealous of her strength, and now he seemed to relish in her discomfort. "Smile, everyone!" Rachel exclaimed, snapping a photo as Olivia forced a grin. The moment felt surreal, a facade of happiness obscuring the turmoil beneath. Reflection. That moment at the backyard changed everything. Olivia realized she could no longer ignore the shifting tides of her relationships, nor could she let Mia's arrogance overshadow her own worth. As the evening wore on, Olivia found herself standing alone for a moment, the laughter of others fading into the background. She took a deep breath, letting the moment wash over her. Perhaps it was time to reclaim her power, to confront the changes that had crept into her life. It was in that moment of clarity that she decided she would no longer allow betrayal to dictate her happiness. The evening may have started with celebration, but it was turning into a revelation, a call to arms for her own sense of self-worth. Olivia gazed out the window. "What a beautiful day," she whispered. Rachel noticed her distant look. "You seem lost in thought." The backyard was a lively scene, a colorful tapestry of decorations that fluttered in the gentle breeze. Laughter danced through the air, intermingling with the sweet scent of apple pie cooling on the table. Olivia had poured her heart into making Mia's birthday special, but as the party unfolded, she felt more like a ghost than the celebratory spirit she had hoped to embody. The laughter around her was vibrant, yet it felt distant, like the muted sound of traffic on a busy street. Mia, radiant in her birthday crown, was surrounded by friends who showered her with extravagant gifts, each one a symbol of the adoration Olivia wished she could share with her daughter. "Oh my God, look at this!" Mia exclaimed, holding up a shiny new tablet. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Olivia's heart sank deeper into her chest, feeling the weight of envy creeping in. As the festivities continued, David, her best friend, leaned in closer, concern etched on his face. "You okay?" he whispered, his voice barely audible above the joyful chaos. "Yeah, I'm fine," Olivia replied, forcing a smile that felt more like a mask. But inside, she was battling a storm of emotions. She had always put her family first, but today, the joy she should have felt was overshadowed by the glaring disparity between her modest gift and the opulence that surrounded Mia. When the moment for toasting arrived, Olivia hoped it would be a chance to redirect the attention back to the joy of the day. But as Mia raised her glass, her smile turned mischievous. "Here's to my mom, the amazing career woman who still can't figure out how to be cool," she quipped, laughter erupting from her friends. Olivia felt the color drain from her face. "What?" she muttered under her breath, the laughter ringing in her ears like a cruel joke. "Come on, Mia, that's not fair," David interjected, his protective instinct kicking in. But Mia just shrugged, her smile widening. "It's all in good fun, right, everyone?" The crowd chuckled, and in that moment, Olivia felt exposed, like a raw wound laid bare for all to see. Cultural reflection. In the backyard, it hurt like strength. As the laughter subsided, preserve the original language of betrayal and pain. She had sacrificed so much for Mia, only to be mocked in front of everyone. The laughter felt like daggers, piercing her spirit. She tried to shake it off, but the humiliation clung to her like a heavy cloak. "Seriously, Mom, lighten up," Mia added, her tone dismissive as she took a sip from her glass. It was as if the years of love and sacrifice had evaporated in an instant, leaving behind only a bitter taste. "I can't believe this," Olivia whispered, her voice trembling. "You've got to be kidding me." David stepped closer, sensing the shift in Olivia's demeanor. "You don't have to take that from her, Olivia. You've done everything for her," he said, his voice steady but laced with urgency. "I know," Olivia replied, her voice barely above a whisper, "but it's her day." The party continued, but Olivia felt the weight of her decision pressing down on her. She glanced at Rachel, who stood at the edge of the crowd, her charming smile hiding a predatory glint in her eyes. Kyle, her brother, was beside her, nodding along, his jealousy palpable. It was like watching a play unfold where she was both the lead and the audience, trapped in a performance she didn't want to be a part of. Just then, Mia opened another gift, revealing an extravagant bracelet that sparkled in the sunlight. "Oh my God, this is beautiful!" she gushed, and the crowd cheered again. Olivia's stomach twisted. With each gift, she felt her own offering, a simple deed to the house, diminishing in importance. "Maybe I shouldn't have done this," she murmured to David, her voice thick with emotion. "I thought it would mean something to her." "It still can, Olivia. You just have to show her that it's more than a gift. It's about family," David encouraged, his loyalty unwavering. But Olivia felt lost. She had given everything, and now it seemed to mean nothing. As the party wore on, she stood at the edge of the crowd, feeling like a stranger in her own life. Then, in an unexpected twist, Mia turned to Olivia, her expression shifting from joy to something more serious. "Mom, I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to have fun, but I guess I went too far," she admitted, her voice softer now. Olivia's heart raced. "You think?" she replied, the sarcasm slipping out before she could catch it. Mia stepped closer, her eyes searching Olivia's. "I'm sorry, I really am. You know I love you, right?" In that moment, Olivia felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps the bond they shared could withstand this test. But even as she considered this, the shadows of betrayal loomed large. How could she reconcile her love for her daughter with the hurt that lingered? As the party continued, laughter echoed around them, but it felt different now, less like a celebration and more like a reckoning. And for Olivia, the question remained: how could she reclaim her power in a world that seemed so determined to diminish her? In the corner of her mind, the deed to the house lay heavy, a reminder of the sacrifices she had made. The party was still underway, but Olivia felt a shift within her, a burgeoning strength ready to rise. Reflection: that moment at the backyard changed everything. As the festivities continued, Olivia knew she had a decision to make. Olivia took a deep breath. "We need to have a serious conversation." Rachel tensed up. About what, exactly? The laughter and joy from Mia's birthday party faded into a distant hum as Olivia stepped into the cool evening air of the backyard. The vibrant decorations swayed gently in the soft breeze, and the smell of fresh grass mingled with the remnants of cake and sugary snacks. She leaned against the wooden fence, her heart heavy. The sounds of birds chirping seemed to mock her, a stark contrast to the turmoil stirring inside. "Olivia?" David's voice cut through her thoughts as he approached, concern etched across his face. He had been a constant source of support, his loyalty unwavering, but even his presence couldn't dispel the weight in her chest. "What happened back there? You seemed off during the party." With a deep breath, Olivia replied, "Did you see how Mia treated me? It was like I was invisible, and everyone else was just, I don't know, it hurt." She rubbed her temples, trying to shake off the memory of Mia's dismissive comments, the way she laughed at Olivia's expense. "I can't believe this is happening." David shifted closer, his eyes narrowing slightly. "You need to talk to her. This isn't just a phase, it's becoming a pattern. You've always put her first, and she takes advantage of that." Olivia nodded, swallowing hard. "You're right, I've noticed it too, but I thought it was just a teenage thing." The realization washed over her like a cold wave. "But it feels different now. It's like she's turning on me." "Have you thought about confronting her?" David asked, his tone earnest. "You deserve to be treated better." Olivia sighed, glancing back at the house where the last remnants of the party were winding down. "I don't know. It's my daughter. I want to be there for her, but what if she doesn't want me? What if she thinks I'm just being dramatic?" David placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're not being dramatic. You're her mother. You have every right to stand up for yourself. Look, let's gather some evidence. Document everything she said or done. It might help to have something concrete when you talk to her." As the night deepened, Olivia's mind raced. She could almost hear the laughter echoing in her ears, but it was tainted now with confusion and hurt. What had happened to the sweet girl she had raised? It felt as though she were losing her, slipping through her fingers like sand. The next few days were a blur. Olivia began to jot down instances where Mia had belittled her, small moments that had chipped away at her heart. One afternoon, preserved the original language at her in front of her friends when Olivia had simply asked her to help clean up after lunch. "Oh my God, Mom, you're so embarrassing," Mia had exclaimed, the words slicing through Olivia's heart like a knife. By the end of the week, she had compiled a list of hurtful remarks and dismissive gestures. It felt surreal to confront her own daughter, but she needed to regain her sense of self. That Saturday morning, the sun streamed through the kitchen window, illuminating the pancakes Olivia was making. The aroma filled the air, but the joy of cooking had dimmed. Mia walked in, scrolling through her phone, barely looking up. "Good morning, Mia," Olivia said, trying to sound cheerful. Mia shrugged, her eyes glued to the screen. "Yeah, whatever." Olivia's heart sank again. She placed a plate of pancakes in front of Mia, who barely acknowledged it. "We need to talk," Olivia finally blurted, her voice trembling slightly. Mia looked up, her expression shifting from indifference to annoyance. "About what? I'm busy." "About how you've been treating me," Olivia responded, her voice steadier than she felt. "I've noticed a pattern, and I want to understand why." Mia rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic, Mom. It's just how teenagers are. Get over it." The words struck Olivia like a punch to the gut. "It's not just teenager behavior, Mia. You've hurt me, and I want to talk about it." Mia crossed her arms, defiance flashing in her eyes. "I didn't mean to hurt you. You're just too sensitive." Olivia's chest tightened. She had expected denial, but not this dismissal. "My heart sank when you said that. I love you, but I can't continue to let you treat me this way. This isn't just about you, it affects our relationship." The silence hung between them, thick with unspoken words. Just as Mia opened her mouth to retort, Rachel walked in, her presence immediately shifting the atmosphere. "What's going on?" she asked. Feigning innocence. Olivia shot her an irritated look, the sudden tension a reminder of the past. Rachel had always had a way of deflecting, of twisting situations. "We're having a conversation about respect," Olivia replied, her voice strained. Rachel smirked, clearly enjoying the conflict. "Oh, come on. Everyone knows teenagers go through phases. You need to lighten up, Olivia." Olivia could feel a fire igniting within her. "This isn't just a phase. I'm tired of being undermined. I'm tired of being humiliated." Mia scoffed, but for the first time, there was a hint of uncertainty in her expression. "I didn't mean to humiliate you," she muttered, almost as if she were hearing herself for the first time. In that moment, Olivia realized the truth. Mia was caught in a web of manipulation, influenced by Rachel's charming yet deceitful nature. The micro-twist of betrayal felt like a slap across her face. "This isn't just about me, Mia. It's about you, too. You're better than this." For a heartbeat, the air felt charged with possibility. Would Mia see the truth, or would she remain ensnared in Rachel's shadows? The path ahead was uncertain, but Olivia knew one thing. She would no longer stand idly by. It was time to reclaim her power, not just for herself, but for Mia's future. Olivia stood in the living room, the scent of fresh coffee mingling with the distant hum of traffic outside. The party had ended, but the atmosphere still buzzed with remnants of laughter and chatter. She could hear the faint echo of Mia's friends as they departed, their voices drifting away like the last rays of sunlight. It was a stark contrast to the weight that now settled in her chest. "Can we talk?" Olivia's voice broke the silence as she turned to Mia, who was still lingering by the half-empty dessert table, a slice of cake in her hand. Mia looked up, her face a mix of defiance and uncertainty. "What's there to talk about? I didn't ask you to be my mom, Olivia." She took a bite of cake, chewing defiantly, but Olivia could see the tremor in her hands. "That's not what this is about," Olivia pressed, her heart sinking as she watched Mia's bravado crumble. "You humiliated me in front of everyone today. I just don't understand why." Mia's expression shifted, a flicker of vulnerability piercing through her tough exterior. "Oh my God, I can't believe you're making this about you," she snapped, but the heat in her voice lacked conviction. "You think I wanted to hurt you? She paused, her shoulders slumping. "It's just, I feel like I'm constantly in your shadow." Olivia blinked, taken aback. "In my shadow? Mia, you're amazing. You've got so much talent and strength. Why would you feel that way?" Mia ran a hand through her hair, frustration evident in her voice. "Because you always put everyone first, Olivia. You're this superhero, and I'm just me. I thought if I acted like I was better, maybe I'd feel better." Tears glistened in her eyes as she finally dropped the facade. In that moment, Olivia felt a rush of empathy wash over her. It was painful to see Mia's struggles manifest as arrogance, but it also opened a door to understanding. She stepped closer, the grass outside freshly cut, the smell lingering in the air, a reminder of spring, of renewal. "Mia, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. I've always been proud of you, but you've got to be honest with yourself, too." Mia's walls began to crumble as she sniffled, the weight of her insecurities spilling out. I wanted to be someone you could look up to. I didn't mean to make you feel bad." "I know, but hurting me isn't the answer," Olivia said softly. "You're worthy of love and respect, just as you are. You don't need to pretend to be someone else." A silence enveloped them, the tension easing as Mia's vulnerability hung in the air. Olivia's heart swelled with hope, feeling the possibility of healing their fractured bond. Suddenly, Kyle burst into the room, the door slamming against the wall. "What's going on in here?" he demanded, his voice sharp. The moment shifted again, the warmth of their conversation overshadowed by his presence. Mia quickly wiped her eyes, frustration flaring. "It's none of your business, Kyle." "Of course it's my business. You made a scene at your own party, and now you're crying about it. What do you want? Pity?" Kyle retorted, crossing his arms, his jealousy palpable. "No, that's not what she needs," Olivia interjected, stepping between them. "Mia was just sharing how she feels. You should be supporting her, not tearing her down." Kyle scoffed. "Support? That's rich coming from you, Miss Perfect. You think you can just swoop in and fix everything?" His words stung, but Olivia held her ground. "Maybe I'm not perfect, Kyle, but I'm trying to be there for her. Can't you see that she's struggling?" "Struggling? More like making excuses," he shot back, his voice dripping with disdain. Olivia's heart raced, the room pulsing with tension. "You don't understand anything, Kyle. You're just jealous of what we have." He rolled his eyes, dismissing her entirely. "Whatever, I don't have time for this emotional nonsense." As he stormed out, Olivia felt the room shift once more. The atmosphere thickened with unspoken words, but she turned back to Mia, who looked utterly defeated. "I'm sorry you have to deal with him," Olivia said gently, "but I'm here for you." Mia nodded, her eyes glistening again. "Thanks, Olivia. I really want to work on this. I just don't know how." Olivia took a deep breath, feeling a surge of determination. "We'll figure it out together, one step at a time." In the living room, it hurt like hope, the threads of their relationship stretching but not breaking. As they began to share their feelings, laughter and tears mingling, Olivia realized this was a turning point. For the first time, they were being honest with each other, and she felt a sense of lightness. It was a revelation. Mia wasn't just acting out, she was searching for a way to connect. In that moment, Olivia understood that healing didn't come from confrontation, but from vulnerability. She smiled at Mia, feeling a flicker of hope. "Let's start fresh. No more masks." Mia returned the smile, a hint of relief washing over her. "I'd like that." And for the first time, they both felt like they were moving towards something brighter together. The sun streamed through the kitchen window, casting a warm glow over the cluttered countertop. The familiar aroma of morning coffee brewed in the percolator filled the air, mingling with the sweet scent of pancakes sizzling on the griddle. Olivia stood at the stove, flipping the pancakes, but her heart wasn't in it. Each turn of the spatula felt like a reminder of the chaos that had erupted at Mia's birthday party. The wind chimes outside tinkled softly, a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside her. She closed her eyes, allowing the melody to wash over her, but the moment was fleeting. "Oh my God," she thought. It was supposed to be a day of joy, not betrayal. Mia's defiance echoed in her mind, and the weight of the situation pressed down on her chest. "I can't believe this," she whispered, a wave of frustration crashing over her. Kyle had been there, smirking at Rachel's cruelty, his loyalty wavering as he turned his back on Olivia. She had always put her family first, but the betrayal stung deeper than she had ever imagined. As she plated the pancakes, she thought about how she had always defended her brother, even when he didn't deserve it. Now he was siding with the woman who had manipulated her heart. Just then, David burst into the kitchen, his presence a much-needed anchor. "You okay?" he asked, concern etched across his face. Olivia took a deep breath, the smell of coffee grounding her. "I'm just trying to wrap my head around everything that happened. I feel lost." "Have you thought about talking to Mia again?" David suggested, leaning against the doorframe. "You need to set boundaries, make her understand what your friendship means to you." His words lingered in the air, and Olivia felt a flicker of determination ignite within her. This wasn't just about Mia, it was about reclaiming her strength. The legacy of her grandmother echoed in her heart. Strong women didn't let others define them. Olivia nodded slowly, an idea forming. "Yeah, I think it's time for a real conversation." As she poured the syrup over the pancakes, a reflective pause washed over her. Cultural reflection, in the kitchen, it hurt like strength. She was tired of feeling like a pawn in someone else's game. "Olivia," David said softly, breaking her thoughts, "you deserve to be treated with respect. Don't let Rachel or anyone else make you feel less than you are." "I know," she replied, her voice steadying. "I just need to find my voice again." Later that evening, as twilight descended, Olivia gathered her courage and called Mia. "Can we talk?" she asked, her heart racing. "About what?" Mia replied, her tone defensive. "I need you to hear me out. What happened at your party?" "You mean how you tried to parent me? I didn't ask for that, Olivia," Mia interrupted, her voice sharp. Olivia clenched her fists, the tension rising. "No, you didn't, but I'm trying to support you, and I need you to understand that I'm not just your friend, I'm your family. You can't dismiss me like that." Mia's silence was heavy, a chasm forming between them. Then she finally spoke. "I just want to be my own person. You're always in my shadow." The words hit like a slap. "I'm not trying to overshadow you. I want to lift you up, but you need to communicate with me, not push me away." The wind chimes outside rang with a sudden gust of wind, filling the silence. Thought. The smell of pancakes brought painful memories. Olivia's heart sank as she realized how deep the rift had grown. "Mia, I care about you," she said, her voice breaking slightly. "But this can't be one-sided. I want us to have a real friendship, not just a surface-level relationship." Mia's voice softened, a hint of vulnerability breaking through. "I guess I didn't realize how much I needed that, but it's hard for me too." "I get that, but we need to do better," Olivia insisted. "We're family, and that means being honest, even when it's uncomfortable." Mia sighed, and for a moment there was silence. "Okay, let's try, but I can't promise it'll be easy." Olivia felt a glimmer of hope. "That's all I ask, just be open with me." As the conversation wrapped up, Olivia felt a sense of clarity wash over her. The boundaries she was setting weren't just for Mia, they were for herself, a declaration of her worth. With David's support and her grandmother's legacy in her heart, preserve the original language of her power. Reflection, that moment in the kitchen changed everything. She had taken the first step towards healing, not just for her and Mia, but for herself. The tension of betrayal was still palpable, but she was no longer a victim. She was a force to be reckoned with. Olivia clenched her fists. "I don't want to hear any more excuses." Rachel hung his head. "I'm truly sorry." The sunlight streamed through the living room window, casting a warm glow over the space where Olivia had poured her heart into planning a special lunch. She could smell the faint hint of fresh grass wafting in from the open window, a reminder of the sunny afternoon outside. But inside, the atmosphere was charged with tension, the kind that made her stomach twist. Olivia had decided today would be the day she confronted Mia, and she had a gift that would change everything. As she placed the deed to her grandmother's house carefully on the table, she felt a surge of strength wash over her. This was not just any gift. It was a symbol of her family's legacy, a piece of her heart, and a statement about the betrayal she felt. Mia entered the room, her expression shifting from curiosity to disbelief as she caught sight of the document. "What is this?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. "This," Olivia began, trying to keep her voice steady despite the turmoil inside, "is the deed to Grandma's house. I wanted you to have it. It means a lot to me, and I thought it might mean something to you too." Mia's eyes widened, a mix of confusion and anger sparking within them. "Oh my God, I can't believe this! Are you serious?" she exclaimed, her voice rising. "You think giving me a house will fix everything?" Olivia felt her heart sink at the accusation. "It's not about fixing things, Mia. It's about acknowledging the truth. I'm here for you, but you can't keep pushing me away. You can't act like everything's fine when it's not." Mia crossed her arms defiantly, her earlier shock morphing into fury. "You're right, everything isn't fine. You've been acting like a parent instead of a friend. I didn't ask for this." "You didn't ask for me to be there when Rachel betrayed me either, did you?" Olivia shot back, her frustration bubbling to the surface. "You let her manipulate you, and I stood by while she twisted the knife." The mention of Rachel's name cut through the air like a knife. Mia's face hardened. "You don't know what you're talking about. Rachel cared about us both." "Stop defending her," Olivia interrupted, her voice rising. "She's charming, sure, but she's also deceitful. You're blinded by her lies, and it's tearing us apart." Mia took a step back, her expression shifting from anger to vulnerability. "You don't get it, Olivia. I'm not the one who betrayed you. You're the one who keeps throwing your sacrifices in my face. It's suffocating." A long silence hung between them, the sound of distant traffic outside a stark contrast to the emotional storm brewing in the room. In that moment, Olivia realized how deeply rooted their issues went. This wasn't just about the house or Rachel. It was about trust, friendship, and the painful truth that sometimes the people we love can hurt us the most. "Maybe this was a mistake," Olivia finally said, her voice barely a whisper. "But I wanted you to see how much you mean to me. I thought you'd understand." Mia's gaze softened, and for a fleeting moment, Olivia hoped to see a glimmer of understanding. You're not the only one hurting, you know. My heart sank when you started taking on this role. It felt like I was losing my best friend." Olivia's chest tightened. "I don't want to lose you, Mia. I just want to protect you. I thought sharing this would bring us closer, but maybe I was wrong." Mia sighed, rubbing her temples as if trying to dispel the tension. "I just wish you'd trust me to handle my own life. I don't need a house to prove our friendship. I need you to listen, to be there without judgment." Olivia nodded slowly, her heart aching at the realization. "I want that too. I just don't know how to let go of the fear of losing you to Rachel." Mia stepped closer, her voice softening. "Then let's work on this together. I can't promise it'll be easy, but I want to try." The air shifted, the weight of their confrontation lingering like the scent of fresh grass in the air. Olivia took a deep breath, feeling a small glimmer of hope. "I'd like that," she said, her voice steadier now. "But we have to be honest with each other. No more secrets." Mia nodded, a tentative smile breaking through the tension. "Deal. But first, I need to process this whole house situation. It's a lot to take in." Olivia smiled back, knowing they had a long road ahead, but feeling a renewed sense of strength. Perhaps this confrontation, painful as it had been, was the catalyst for healing. Together, they could navigate the complexities of betrayal and friendship, one step at a time. The weeks following the confrontation felt surreal for Olivia. The crisp autumn air wrapped around her like a familiar blanket, but it carried the heavy scent of fresh grass and something more: regret. Every morning, she would sit on the porch, a steaming cup of fresh coffee in hand, contemplating the events that had unfolded at Mia's birthday party. The distant hum of traffic was a reminder of the world moving on, while her heart was stuck in a loop of disbelief. In the back of her mind, the image of Mia's surprised face when Olivia placed the deed to her grandmother's house on the table played like an old film reel. "Oh my God, I can't believe this!" Mia had exclaimed, the excitement in her voice replaced by a confusion that Olivia had never intended to cause. But the truth was, Olivia had reached her breaking point. As days turned into weeks, she found herself evaluating her friendships, particularly those that had chipped away at her spirit. Rachel's charming facade became clearer in the harsh light of introspection. Kyle's jealousy, once brushed aside, now loomed large. He had supported Rachel during the chaos, feeding the narrative that Olivia was the villain in a story that was hers to tell. During one of those reflective mornings, David joined her on the porch, his presence a comfort amidst the turmoil. "You know," he said, breaking the silence, "you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not tear you down." Olivia nodded, her heart heavy. "I thought family was supposed to be the ones who support you, not betray you." "Exactly," David replied, leaning forward, his tone earnest. "You've got to protect your peace, Liv. Let go of the toxic relationships." As the sun rose higher, its warm rays piercing through the lingering morning chill, Olivia felt a flicker of determination igniting within her. She needed to reclaim her narrative, her power. Days passed, and then one afternoon, a message from Mia appeared on Olivia's phone. It was short and simple, but weighed heavily with sincerity. "I'm sorry for how I treated you. I've been thinking about things, and I want to try and rebuild our friendship." For a moment, Olivia felt her heart sink. She was caught between wanting to embrace the bond they had shared and the sting of the betrayal that had unfolded. Sitting on the porch, she inhaled deeply, the smell of fresh coffee mixing with the crisp fall air, evoking bittersweet memories. Reflection, that moment at the porch changed everything. It was a pivotal moment, a chance for Olivia to decide her next steps. She could sense David's eyes on her, silently urging her to weigh her options carefully. The thought of reconnecting with Mia was tempting, but could she truly trust her again? Days turned into a week, and Olivia found herself drafting a response, only to delete it time and again. She wanted to believe in the possibility of forgiveness and healing, yet the pain from the past felt too fresh, too raw. One evening, as twilight began to blanket the sky, Olivia received a call from David. "What are you thinking about Mia?" he asked, his voice steady. "I want to forgive her, but I'm scared, David," Olivia admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "Scared of what? Rejection? Or maybe of letting your guard down?" "Both," Olivia confessed. "I don't want to be hurt again." "Sometimes the risk is worth it. Just don't lose yourself in the process." As the conversation ended, Olivia reflected on the choices ahead. The smell of fresh coffee lingered in the air, and she could feel the weight of the past starting to lift, just a little. But then, a thought struck her. What if this was not just about Mia, but about reclaiming who she was? The realization hit her like a wave crashing against the shore. She didn't need to be defined by the betrayal. She could redefine her relationships on her own terms. The following week, Olivia decided to meet Mia. As she approached the cafe where they'd agreed to meet, she felt a mix of apprehension and hope. Would they be able to mend what had been broken? And in that moment, on her porch that morning, she pondered the significance of her journey. At her birthday party, she humiliated me in front of everyone. I gave her the deed to her house as a gift. It was a painful truth, but it was also a testament to her strength. And you, on your porch, what will you do when faced with betrayal? As Olivia stepped into the cafe, the warm air enveloped her, mingling with the rich aroma of roasted coffee beans. She spotted Mia at a corner table, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of a cup. The sight of her friend sent a wave of nostalgia crashing over Olivia, but it was quickly followed by the familiar sting of betrayal. "Hey," Olivia said, forcing a smile as she approached. Mia looked up, her eyes brimming with a mixture of hope and apprehension. "Hey," Mia replied softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Thanks for meeting me." Olivia nodded, slipping into the chair opposite her. The chatter of nearby patrons buzzed in the background, but all she could focus on was the tension that hung between them like a heavy fog. "I got your message," she started, her throat tightening. "I've been thinking a lot about it." Mia bit her lip, her gaze dropping to the table. "I know I messed up, Liv. I've realized how much I took for granted. I miss our friendship." The sincerity in Mia's voice tugged at Olivia's heart, but she couldn't help but feel the weight of their past. "It's not just about missing each other, Mia. What happened, it hurt. A lot." Mia nodded, her eyes glistening. "I understand. I was selfish, caught up in my own insecurities. I didn't see how my actions affected you." Olivia glanced out the window, watching leaves swirl in the autumn breeze. "I just don't know if I can trust you again," she admitted, her voice trembling with vulnerability. "Trust takes time," Mia replied, her tone earnest. "I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I want to prove that I can be better, be the friend you deserve." Olivia felt a flicker of hope, but the thought of being hurt again loomed large in her mind. What if this is just temporary? What if you change your mind again? "I won't," Mia insisted, her voice steady. "I promise to work on myself, for our friendship. You deserve that." The sincerity in Mia's eyes began to chip away at Olivia's defenses. She could feel the tension inside her slowly dissipating, replaced by a yearning for the connection they once shared. "Okay," Olivia finally said, her heart racing. "Let's take it one step at a time." A smile broke on Mia's face, and for the first time in weeks, Olivia felt a warmth in her chest, a reminder that even in the midst of betrayal, there could be a chance for healing. As they began to talk, the cafe faded away, leaving only the sound of their voices and the possibility of a new beginning.